channel. Thank you for tuning in today. I apologize for my lack of uploads these last 2 to 3 days. Woody this week haven't been feeling so well. Just allergies have been horrible. It's just been kind of a rough week, not feeling very good. But I'm gonna get back into it. I've tried to post some daily shorts, but I haven't posted my long videos like I should. So I'm gonna keep this one about 5 minutes long because today's topic is security. Right? Security. So my question is, where do you put your security? Right? Where do you put your trust, if you will? Because if you go all the way back, right, you go to Cain and Abel and how Cain killed his brother Abel. Right? Very popular story. He killed his brother Abel. And Cain went and ran to the cities with walls because he was scared. He was scared, so he ran to these big cities with these big walls because he was scared. So he runs to these cities and hides there, and that's where he puts his security because he's scared that when he faces God, because God knows what he has done. He's scared to face judgment, so he runs to these cities thinking that he's protected. And from there, you go, all the way to Babylon and stuff, but it starts all the way with Cain, running to these cities with security. And that's one of the biggest things with humans a lot of times is we try to form groups. Right? And we see a lot of nationalistic ideas come of it because we try to form these groups. And one of the main reasons we form these groups is for security. Right? Because we're scared. We're all scared of something. But if you can come and all be in a group, you feel secured. Oh, that's a fire truck. So you see these big cities, okay? Because people go there, they feel secure. You see a lot of times the countries and stuff and how they rely on their governments, their police, their military to keep them secure, and you see this false sense of security. So I tell you that the only place you're truly going to find security in life is God. And I know it's been said, the only place you can find security is God, and the only place you can trust is God, and why that stands true. I want to put it in a different way for you, so it kind of helps understand. Right, so what do these great leaders have in common, right? You have these leaders of these great empires. You got Napoleon, right, Genghis Khan, Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, Caesar of the Romanian empires, Hitler, Stalin, shall go on. Right, so you have all these great leaders, and the biggest reason people flock to them is because, number one, they think it's their kind of going on, it's their purpose, their kind of idea, their culture. Right, nationalistic ideas. Right, it's your culture that you're better than one. Okay, you're better than someone else. And what are you thinking that God made you better than others? And this second reason they kind of come all together is for security. Because when you're with your own people and when you're with people who are similar to you, you tend to be more secure. That's just how it is. You tend to be more secure. Right? You tend to be more secure with your family than you are with some stranger on the street. That's just how it is. And a lot of times, even if these people are complete strangers, when you get into these cultures that are similar, you still feel secure. So we see a lot of these times these people flock to these great nations for security. And that leads to many wrongdoings and much evilness. Because a lot of times they think that they're doing something evil, they're doing something evil, but they think it's for a good purpose, and they think that it's for their own security. Right? Let's look at Germany. Right? World War II. Right? Hitler was a very ambitious guy. Okay, but the German people, they felt secure in him. Thanks to a lot of propaganda by Joseph Goebbels and a lot of the higher officials of the Third Reich. But they felt secured, and that even justified their attack on other nations such as France, Belgium, Netherlands, Czechoslovakia, Austria, right, Soviet Union, Poland, right? All these, so they feel justified because it's for their own security. Okay? And once again, they feel that culture, right? When you say to your culture, your people, that they're in the right, then they're going to flock to you, or they feel that security, and that's when you're able to kind of beat out or kind of kick out anyone else who's not of that culture, of that similarity. Okay, so that kind of brings me to my next point. We see these flawed ideas of security in these great nations, right? Every leader is thinking that they're their own God. I don't know if I said this on the channel, but there's a book, Inside the Third Reich, by Albert Speer, who was the armaments and production minister of Germany during World War II. He was actually one of the bigger figures of the inner circle, and he was actually helped Germany, stay in the war as long as they did, because to be honest, they didn't have the resources. They never did, so it's surprising they even stayed that long. Okay, but you go and you read his manuscripts, and so you go and you read these, and it says that Hitler believed in a God, but he believed that he himself was the God, right? That he had faith, but he had faith in himself, right? So we see that leaning on your own understanding, but we also see these great kings and these great leaders, right? When you get so much power, you see that you yourself are a God, and that you can choose what's right and wrong, right? We see these such flawed judgments. We see these kings who try to be a God of themselves and how they fall. So what am I trying to say here is that there is really only one place to put your security and your trust, and that is in the ultimate God, the God of the highest. Where I could talk about how gracious and amazing God is, and I could go on days for days for that. It's an amazing thing. But I want to make this video to kind of show you what happens when you kind of put your trust and your security into these false, leaders, these false gods, and just into the government, into the nation altogether. It's good to trust. It's good to kind of have hope for the future. Try to trust humans. That is good. But when you put so much trust and faith and security into sinful beings, as does us, that is when you face problems. So where can you put your security? Where can you put your hope? Where you know that it will be redeemed is truly the ultimate God, the great Redeemer. And when you put your security and your trust and your faith into God, God isn't just going to kick you out. God isn't just going to leave you. God's not just going to abandon you. Right? That's the great thing about God. He's not these sinful leaders. Right? God is never wrong. He's never evil. He cannot be like these evil leaders who cause so much destruction and death. So, once again, to conclude, at least to that last option, when you try to put security into these humans, into these fake leaders, you're never, ever going to find true security. Never. You can say about the government today, right? Every government, every human has the same flaw, which is pridefulness and ego, right? Every single one of us. So where can you put your trust and your security? Say it one more time. You got to put it in God. Surely that's the only option you would have. And that would is the best option. I say to you. So, hope you guys liked today's video. Thank you for tuning in today, and you guys have a blessed day.